Hey guys, Hector here with Weichert Realtors Exclusive Properties, and I am going to explain why it's very, very good that interest rates are high right now, or higher than they have been for the last several years at about 6 to 6.5%. So the very important factor to understand here is inventory and where we are today compared to pre-COVID levels, 2019. So in 2019, we had about 14,500 units on the market. This amount of inventory was already pretty low. It was considered to be a seller's market, which is 6 months or less of inventory based on the current absorption rate. And in 2022, we currently have, as of August, we're comparing the same time frame, we currently have about 10,800 units on the market, or homes on the market. All right, so this represents a 25% reduction in inventory compared to pre-pandemic levels. Obviously, during the pandemic, we had a very scarce housing market that created a buying frenzy with appraisal gap waivers, inspection waivers, you name it, it was out there just to make sure that someone gets into that home. So what this tells us is if this amount of inventory was coupled with an interest rate of, let's say, between 3 to 4%, we would still be in that market where people are waiving their appraisals or their inspection or whatnot. They'll do whatever it takes to get the home. So for this reason, I suspect that if we were to get inflation under control, we are going to get back into that heavy seller's market, and it's going to create another buying frenzy where you have multiple offers and all that stuff going on, which A, could either price you out of the market, or B, you're going to waive some of your rights that you probably should not waive, because it's important to have those rights to make sure that the home is something that works for you and doesn't need a ton of repairs, or has a sinkhole situation, whatever the case may be. So what I would recommend, and I know there's a huge saying out there, which is marry the home, date the rate, whatever the case may be. But if you were to buy a home today without competition, right? So you buy the home without competition, you can lock in today's price, which chances are you can get closing cost concessions, you can get a lower price, you can perhaps even have the seller buy down your interest rate so that your rate can be somewhat comfortable. You might pay a little bit more than a rental price, but it won't be that much more than what you would pay for an average rent in our area. Now, when we compare where we are rental market wise for, let's say, a 3-bedroom house on average, probably about $3,000 per month. There are some 1-bedroom apartments that are about $3,000 per month in downtown Tampa or more. So for that reason, it makes a lot more sense to buy in, lock in today's price, which may be good if you have cash. Of course, you can purchase it with cash, but trying to time that bottom is nearly impossible. That bottom can be here between now and the end of the year. That bottom could be here now. And if the Fed decides to be pretty hawkish, September meeting, September 21st, and the federal funds rate doesn't move a lot, then we can have a situation where that 10-year treasury, which is currently about 3.45%, could end up dropping to that 2.75% level, which will get buyers back into the market. Now, that does not mean that mortgage rates will be 2.75%. That just means that's a comfort level where the 30-year fixed rate mortgage is tied to the 10-year treasury of the bond market. And it's going to be an interest rate maybe somewhere in the high 4s, low 5s, that it's a little bit more comfortable for someone to say, okay, I'll go ahead and move forward with that purchase. Now, are people still buying today? Absolutely. That is the reason why inventory is not moving. So if you had July numbers, you had about 10,700 homes on the market in the Tri-County area. We're looking at Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco counties. And then in August, you had about 10,800 units. And so far, what we're seeing through September is no change to inventory. Please, if you take anything from this video, Understand where normal levels were in 2019. So normal levels for this time of year is between 14.5, which is the low end, all the way up to about 17,000 homes on the market. Our population is getting greater. We have relocations coming into our area. If the rates decrease, again, if you take anything from this video, understand that this inventory will diminish very, very quickly as it was earlier this year. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.